my portion. He lifts my head in glory. For my home the Lord has exalted. He teaches me to prosper. I have come with stories to tell. I have come with testimonies. Take a look at me, you can see it. Say you can call me testimonies. It is my time and it is my season. All around me testimonies. And
Good afternoon, our lovely listeners. Welcome to our show today on Radio Mpito on 3.9 FM Mombasa. I am your host, Christine Mideva. Today we are going to discuss about the insecurity cases after the many incidents that have taken place in Kisauni area and left the residents to live in fear. Before we start our show today, I want to remind all parents whose children have scored 350 marks and above in KCP this year to kindly apply for them Wings to Fly scholarship program through the Equity Bank's website. Remember, the application will be done online. Today with me in studio, I have a guest who is going to introduce himself.
Thank you. I'm Ochieng Edwin, the Commander of Police, Mombasa.
In the past, we have the cases where the students have been murdered and their laptops and phones have been taken away by the Matejas in Kisauni area. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, thank you, Christine. The cases of theft and the murders of students in Kisauni area has been a matter of concern for a very long time now. And as the Commander of Police of Mombasa County, I can tell you and assure you that we are really working on that. And we are aware and we know the groups that are terrorizing the students in the area. And several times we have gone to the area to check the situation of the insecurity in that area. And I can promise you by now the situation has changed and the students are a bit secure. They paid enough police into the area to ensure that security is enhanced at every particular time. And the students are now living a bit confidently because always every time wherever they are they see policemen patrolling around there to ensure that their security and their lives are protected. As for the ones who have been victims of the same, we are working on their cases because we have received some cases over there in our offices, and we believe with the time justice will prevail.
So do you want to assure the parents of these students that their children are safe there at Kisauni area?
Yeah, I can assure the parents that their children are safe if we leave out the cases that had been reported earlier. And you can bear me witness that now it's about a month and no case has been registered, no case of murder or theft has been registered in the area. And this is just due to our hard work and ensuring that there is good surveillance in the area to ensure that these gangs are trapped down and the students living there are protected. Not only students but all the residents of Kisauni are safe, and I can assure all the residents of Kisauni right now that they should not panic. They have no reason to panic because our men are on the ground to ensure that every person suspected of being a criminal in the area will be tracked down, and I promise you the law will take its course immediately people are caught.
Right. Then we have this thing where the residents of Kisauni area, they say that this Mateja, they are high school students. Do you confirm if this is true or it's just a mere rumor from the residents?
Okay, it's a bit tricky question, but in crime we deal with records and we deal with the cases that has been reported in our offices. So going by the records, I can assure you that most of the people we have in our records in the cases of murder and theft, most of them are the youths, of which by age they range between 15 to around 24, meaning they are not people who are they are not adults, they are people of tender age, and to some extent we are convinced that most of them are Form 4 leavers who after finishing Form 4 and they become restless in the community, they lack jobs, and they start adapting new things, they want to survive, and there are no ways of ensuring that these things are available to them. So most of them indulge in crime, and that's when you saw the cases of insecurity and theft murders increased in the area because most of them were now jobless and they wanted to at least get something to put, at least to buy food, to buy their daily needs. And you know, just with youths, most of them love luxurious life, and there is no way, there is no one to provide for the things they need. So they resort to crime as the alternative source of getting whatever they want. So I can confirm most of them are youths. Most probably the youths who have some are school dropouts, and some of them completed Form 4, and after that they became restless and nowhere to go, jobless, and they resorted to crime. And I think that the people who have been terrorizing our people. Yeah.
After finding out that some of these Matejas, they are high school students, is there any organization that you have found or you are working with it, together with it, to ensure that these children, they are not just idle, they are not littering around, so that it can ensure that they are busy? You know, they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yeah.
Is there such an organization?
So up to now, I can confirm that we are working in partnership with the county government of Mombasa to ensure that TVETs are built in the areas surrounding Kisauni, and it's quite unfortunate that up to now no TVET has been built in Kisauni area, but around the area there are several TVET institutions, and there are several training institutions to ensure that the fees are low, because we found out that most of the students, most of the Form 4 leavers, after finishing Form 4, they say there is no fee to join campuses or colleges. So that's why we came with the TVETs in conjunction with the county government to ensure that these youths, they are absorbed, and the basic courses offered to them in these TVETs, so that they can get some skills to survive. And again, with the same support of the county government, we negotiated for subsidy or what? Subsidy of the subsidy of the fees, and most of their fees are paid through. Some of them are being offered help loans, and some of them are being paid for by the county government to ensure that they are kept busy and there is no time they have to loiter around and have that idle mind to think of crime. And again, I can tell you that some of them who we have arrested and taken to our police custodies are also introduced and initiated into these TVET institutions to be taught courses like tailoring, masonry, carpentry, so that after finishing their jail term into these jails, they come out completely transformed people. They come out completely changed people, and they come out good, responsible, and good members of the community, high moral standards, and they have that capability of viewing life differently after leaving the jails. And I can assure you this program has been working sufficiently and very well, and up to now I can tell you with the time we will be there, and we'll totally do away with crime in this area.
Okay, and this organization, is it limited to those who are in jail, or even the kids who are at home, they can join these organizations?
Okay, you know, an organization is a place of learning for everybody, and anyone who is able and willing to join is able to join. But for the criminals, we are just using these organizations to reform them, to transform them to the good people they used to be when they were young. So it's not limited to only prisons, but it's an open institution for all, and anybody outside there can join. But there is a particular section for our criminals. There are particular sections that are separated for these criminals. That is their sector, and it's only them who are learning in that area, because you can just imagine if these people are mixed freely with the young boys who are coming from home. Some of them will never change. They can even go ahead as introducing many new members into these gangs, and that's what we want to do away with. And so the institutions are for all, but we have special sectors for our gangs who are in these jails.
Okay, and my last question is,
Yes.
lastly, Last week we saw the students of Technical University of Mombasa going to the streets to demonstrate about the murdering, the killings that are going on in Kisauni. What can you advise the administration of the school to do on this matter?
Okay, as the commander of police, I can say it was quite unfortunate that the student had to take it to the street to demand for justice, while it's our own duty to provide, to ensure that justice prevails, and to ensure that their security is enhanced. I can say that what happened was something that was very unfair. The students were being terrorized by the so-called gangs, and they took it upon themselves to ensure that they demanded for what rightfully belonged to them. And I don't think if that was a good idea, because by doing so, most of them were exposed to more danger, and I learned later that some of them were injured on that same day, and some of them are still nursing very serious injuries from that. So my advice to the school administration, to the students, and to everybody surrounding the institution is that the students, they should always ensure that they don't work in those areas at night past 2 p.m. because we consider those as some of the risky hours in that area. And when it's a must, you have to work in those areas. You have to work in groups and accompany yourself with their IDs, so that when caught by the police, you can easily be identified as a student, so that you can't be arrested as or mistakenly arrested as the gangs. Alafu, to the school administration, I think it's also upon themselves to ensure that their students are safe and provide any means for them to ensure that their students are not finding themselves in such dangerous places. Like, for example, they can increase the accommodation situation in the school, so that they will ensure that most of their students will be within the school and only a few will be outside. And the few will be outside, they should reside around the school, not going as far as that place to interact with the so-called deadly gangs called Mateja and Wakali Kwanza and the rest. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And if you are joining us, right now, we were talking about the insecurity cases, and with me in studio was the Inspector General at Kisauni area, Edwin Obala. That marks the end of our show today. Once again, I want to appreciate you for coming to our show today.
Thank you so much.
So let's see each other tomorrow, same time, same place, and have a lovely day.